You've got ideas, you've got ambition, you've got no time, or so you think. I'm Marissa Lonick, and I help busy moms with big dreams and no time. Join me each week as I dive into time management strategies, goal setting and achieving framework, and inspiring guests who are juggling mom life, work life, fill in the blank life. Dreams don't work unless you do, and just because you're a mom doesn't mean you can't still make it happen, whatever it means to you. Welcome to the Mama Work It podcast. Hey, mamas. Welcome back to another awesome episode of the Mama Work It podcast. So glad you're here. If you are new and have never listened to our show, we support women in the juggle of mom life, work life, wife life, fill in the blank life. And I'm your host, Marissa Lonick, working mom of 4 and founder of Mama Work It. Super excited to introduce you to our guest today. Her name is Monica Virga Alborno, and she is the founder of Wanderwild Family Retreats and Wanderwild, a podcast host. She's also a petroleum and natural gas engineer by trade. Originally from New Jersey, she has spent 13 years as an expat, living on 4 different continents and visiting more than 80 countries. Before entrepreneurship, she spent over a decade in high-level management roles at a Fortune 500 energy company. In 2021, Monica transitioned from corporate leadership to entrepreneurship, founding Wanderwild Family Retreats, the first retreat company dedicated to transformative experiences for mothers and children. In 2024, she launched Wanderwild, a digital space for intentional and intuitive motherhood. Now based in Norway, she is the proud mother of 2 young children who identify as American, Saudi Arabian, and Norwegian. Passionate about experiential learning, human connection in an increasingly digital world, and holistic self-development, Monica channels her global perspective and leadership expertise into building communities that empower women. Cannot wait for this conversation. Monica, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Marissa, for having me and that lovely introduction. I'm happy to be here.
Yes, of course. Well, tell us just a little bit about, we've heard a lot about you, your background, but tell us about kind of your motherhood journey.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, I'm an American that's been abroad for 13 years, as you heard from that intro, and ended up in Norway. I had been living in the Middle East and West Africa before I ended up in Norway. So it was very nice to be in Norway when I became a mom because there's a lot of incredible benefits here for that transition. But I also became a mom during the pandemic, which a lot of people out there can relate to, was very isolating. And being in a foreign country where there were a lot of travel restrictions, it was a tough time. And it was something that really transformed me. That's how you can hear from my story. It's like I had this very high-powered, successful corporate career, was climbing the ladder, was traveling the world, met my husband through that way. It was my whole life. And then I had this really active pregnancy where I was preparing for hypnobirthing and a natural birth. And I had always kind of been like, okay, if I work hard enough, I'm going to get what I want, it was kind of always this idea of if you work hard enough, if you put in effort, you're scrappy, you're going after it, you're going to get it. Because that's how it had always kind of been for me if I wanted something bad enough. And motherhood was the first time where that did not play out the way that I had anticipated. I practiced hypnobirthing every day, was so active and fit going into my birth experience, but my daughter had another plan. And that was my first look into, oh wow, this motherhood thing is interesting. There's a lot of space for personal growth here. And so I ended up in, not to go into too much detail about my birth experience, because I love talking about birth experiences, but I ended up 10 centimeters dilated, and somewhere in there I did get an epidural because it was almost, I'd been 30 hours in active labor. But she was, as they say here in Norway, a stargazer, which is in the US, they usually say like a sunny side up. She was looking up at I love how they say stargazers. So she couldn't fit through. There were some other things happening. So I ended up in an emergency C-section. My husband had to leave the hospital soon after that because of the pandemic. So I'm in a hospital solo with my newborn. My milk supply wasn't coming in. I was, recovering from a C-section, feeling miserable. Nobody else could come visit me. My family was miles away, hadn't seen me even pregnant. They had never seen me pregnant, and they never got to see my daughter till she was about 9 months old. So I was like, wow, okay, why is nobody talking about how this can be rough? And like, there's a lot of things happening here. Like, I am so overjoyed that I'm finally a mom. I had had a miscarriage 2 years earlier, and like every single day was trying to get pregnant again and wanted this so badly. And now that I have it, I'm like, what is what is going on? So I was met with so many emotions, and started feeling a couple months out like I needed to do something, I needed to act. And that's how I was driven to create Wanderwild Family Retreats. I was like, moms need a place to go where they can really just get away from their busy schedules, all the things on our plate, and have a safe space, a sacred space where they can get back to who they are in this phase, because we are different now. And also like have that bond with our children deepen and see them away from like running out the door, getting to the next thing, like doing all the meals, all this stuff, like just really being present when you don't have to worry about any of that, and having that intentionality of having time with one another and really seeing one another for what you are, like the special parts of yourself. So that really just lit me up, and I just found so much creative energy in it, and I've just been going ever since. I can't stop myself. Like, I just feel like that's my calling, and I found it after I became a mom. And yeah, it's completely changed the way that I show up professionally and also personally.
Wow, that birth story could not have gone any different than how you anticipated it, I bet. And I am in full agreement. I think that is one of the biggest life lessons that children and motherhood will teach you, is like, it's most definitely not always going to go the way you think it will.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love that business was really birthed alongside that experience for you. We had other guests on the show, one in particular who, her name was Garrett, and she talked about how in studying about pregnancy and birth, because her business was born sort of alongside her first baby too, is that actually something ignites inside you during that period.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are chakras and things that really just get certain creativity flowing, and like, it's not uncommon for a lot of women to step into entrepreneurship when they also step into motherhood. Have you noticed that?
Absolutely. I remember actually, because I am a petroleum engineer and had a decade-long career with that more masculine mindset, because most of the time, every day, I was surrounded around men, and I was leading groups of men. Like, it was very uncommon to have any female energy around me. So, masculine is more authoritative and get things done, more structured, not so intuitive, not so creative all the time. And that piece was like hiding inside of me. And when I stepped into motherhood, like giving birth for me was like, oh, I'm intuitively feeling into what my body needs. I was connecting with my womb space for really probably like the first time in my life. And then it just kind of continued from there. Because then when that mother instinct just kicks in, and you're constantly like feeling into what your child needs. And then it's the same place that your creative energy is birthed from. It's that womb space for me. And that's how I birth ideas, and how I also parent intuitively a lot. Like, I just listen to what feels right in my body.
Yeah. Yeah. Love that. So I'm curious, when you think about rituals and specifically sacred rituals, I don't know about you, but I don't always go right to like doing things with my kids. It's just like not the first thing that pops into my head, right? I'll think about things like, I don't know, like my skincare ritual. It's not that serious, trust me, but it's like a ritual I do for myself every evening. But I'm curious, what does this mean when it does come alongside the context of motherhood? And what does this look like on a day-to-day setting?
Yeah, absolutely. I love that you asked that. So, yeah. And so, I mean, like, you've heard a bit about my background. Like, I'm not a really like woo person, like, per se, like, that hasn't been my life journey. But I have found this deep connection with my creative energy, with my womb space, with this intuitive, more feminine spirituality within me. And I've always been a nature girl. I love connecting with the earth, and I'm outside right now. I sit outside barefoot, walking in the grass as much as I can. That's just how I've always been. So for me, it's like I wanted to start some rituals that connected me, but also my kids are so like in tow with me all the time right now. I have a 2 and a 4-year-old, so like it's pretty rare that they're not with me. Like even in the evenings, we're usually just doing the bedtime routine, and I'm passing out in bed next to them, right? So I started thinking about like how can I start to do some rituals where I'm tuning into the rhythms of nature, the cycles. I'm very into as well, like the planets and what's happening astrologically around us and the effect that has, even with physics, like with my engineering background, like how that all plays into its effect on us. And so I started doing this ritual with my daughter, and my son joined in too, where we would do a full moon ritual. And that's one of the ones that I'm really enjoying right now, because it doesn't have to feel so like, you know, witchy or untouchable. Like it's actually a very grounded practice that is a really fun thing for them to also notice. Like, hey, did you notice that the moon is full outside tonight? And should we do something about it? This is a really good time to charge our water with intention. So we started charging our water. We would fill a glass of water in the window. We would set up a little altar of objects from the earth. And it was a chance for us to bond too and go outside and collect. I always use, like, if I'm doing some type of altar for a ritual, all the 4 elements. So we find like seashells, rocks, like whatever we wanted, something like a little candle. So we represent all of the 4 elements. And then we set an intention and we write a message of something that we want to be more of in the month to come, and we charge our water with it. And then you drink the water the next day after it's under the moonlight all night. And for me, it's been a really nice way to kind of just bring that to like, even my son did it, and he was so excited the next morning as a 2-year-old to drink this this special moon water. But it was just this way for us to like slow down, to notice the rhythms. Like it's the start of a new month, the end of another month. What do we want to be more of this month ahead? What are we calling in? And we ended up writing messages to one another too, which was kind of sweet, and putting those in our water and just kind of having that like pause and that connection with the rhythms of the earth. So that's one ritual I've been doing right now with my kids, and it feels nice for me, and that it also is giving something to them too, and we can do it together. So it's like a win-win for me.
I love that so much. I've definitely done a new moon, full moon ritual before, but I haven't done one with my kids yet. I think that come like 8:30, 9 p.m., like I'm not my best at being a parent at that time of day. I think I'm better. Like I think I'm more of a morning person, I've discovered just in motherhood, but I want to be more intentional about that. It's once a month, and I think it's totally doable. So I love that idea. What we have done in the past, very minimal compared to kind of your gathering of the elements and charging of the water. No, we've charged crystals with the new moon or the full moon. And I love that. And sometimes like my older kids would even look at the calendar and see it written there and be like, we have to charge our crystals on Friday, or, you know, and so it was fun. It was fun to introduce them to that. some of them have different crystals, and they'll definitely like tap into their, like the powers that they give, and kind of the energy that comes from them when needed. And so I love that I've introduced that to them, and I didn't even kind of put two and two together that that's a ritual we've done. We haven't been consistent, but that's a ritual we've done in the past.
Yeah. And I mean, and you don't have to be consistent, and you don't have to do it under the moonlight. Like for us here, I'm in Norway in the summer, like it's almost 9 p.m. and like the sun is still like right in the middle of the sky.
It looks like broad daylight, guys.
Yeah. So I mean, we were doing it before their bedtime at like 3 p.m. and we would just like set it up, and then we'd say over when the moon comes out, it's gonna.
Okay, good to know.
And we
good
get
to
up
know.
early
Yeah.
in the morning too. So we're like, we just have to drink it before the sun comes up too much. And yeah, so you just kind of make it what you give yourself permission to make it what you are able to make it, instead of setting.
I love that you said that. Yeah, I love that you said that, because I'm like always thinking like, oh, that's just like not my best time of day to like now embark on this experience, because I'm exhausted and I just want everyone to go to sleep. Yeah. So it's evident from our conversation, just from knowing you, motherhood's really had this like very profound effect on you, on your career, on this feminine energy you're discussing, kind of on your interests and passions and things that have come up for you. And having a very intentional approach is very important to you. And I think it's important to a lot of moms out there, because our time and our energy can often feel quite limiting. And so we want to be as intentional as we can during those moments. Do you have any like daily practices or rituals you do, that are even maybe more like micro rituals with your kids that you can share with us?
Yeah. Yeah, what can I say? I mean, it looks different every day. I think some ones right now, like moving into the springtime, summer right now, it's like there's a lot of movement with clearing out, cleansing the home. So we've been doing a lot of kind of clearing out stuck energy, like in our home and also our bodies. So they see me do things and they'll kind of like come and do it along with me, where I open all the windows and energetically just either use a broom or your arms to clean out the energy. But on a daily basis too, like throughout the year, we just do things where if we are feeling like there's some tension and we're feeling like some stress building up, deep belly breaths is a big one. Like I like to bring the kids outside, even in like the cool, crisp air in the winter. We'll go like watch our belly rise and let it fall, and just like take a couple really good deep belly breaths together. It's so easy and simple. Another one for me is I love to bring them outside in the grass barefoot and imagine yourself as a tree. You can kind of like shake out a little bit, like a little shaking meditation, where you kind of move any of that stagnant energy out of you. And then you visualize your body giving back to the earth any energy that you don't need anymore. So I guess I'm mentioning things energetically specifically, which is coming up for me today for some reason. We also just spend a lot of time in nature. Like we connect as much as possible. And right now we're getting ready to plant our flowers in our garden and make a small vegetable garden. And I've been teaching my kids more and more to talk to the plants, that all of these plants around us are living. We're all connected with one another. And it's nice to talk to them and say hi and like, respect them, and don't just like pick, because they get kind of like into like wanting to pick them. And I'm like, you have to ask for permission if the plant wants you to do that or not. So it's like these small little things that are becoming our rituals. And they don't have to be, again, like these big grand things that take a lot of time, but just stopping in the morning and saying good morning to the plant and and walking up to the car, and then instead of just brushing past the beauty of a flower that's bloomed over the night. So yeah, those are a couple
things. I'm taking away from that is really just the inclusion of presence and mindfulness and appreciation and kind of all the things you're doing. Like there's a real intentionality there. And I think even that, if you feel like you're rushing through life, you know, we can all take 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 30 seconds to do any of those things and kind of instill that into our kids too, right? We can model it in that way. Is there anything that you do in particular? Maybe it's not so much with the kids, but maybe you do for yourself on a daily basis when it comes to rituals, and maybe they're even seeing you do it. Like, for example, when I started meditating years ago, even though I wasn't meditating with my kids, they would see me doing it sometimes if they woke up like earlier than they normally did in the morning. It was part of my morning routine. And then they started getting interest in it. And now, I kid you not, many a bedtimes where I have a kid ask me like, I can't sleep. Can I have a meditation? Can you put on a guided meditation? And so like, I love that became something for them, even though it was just something I was doing for me, just via kind of like they're witnessing that.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's coming up for me that you're saying, every morning right now, especially like on the weekends when we're all together, because we kind of we get up pretty early, like 5:45, 6, and we're kind of snuggly. They start to play with their toys, and I'm usually sitting on the couch having some type of hot beverage, tea, coffee, whatever it is. And I'm always journaling. I always feel a lot of emotions, I guess, come up in the morning, like emotions and creative ideas. And I just feel this urge to pick up my journal and get it all out onto paper. And sometimes I'm writing about an experience with my family that's just for me, or something I'm feeling inside that I just want for me to hold on to and maybe look back in the future, or maybe I never look at it again. I just want to get it out of me. And then sometimes I also have all these really creative business ideas that are flowing out. So my journal is full of like a variety of things. But it's something that they absolutely see me do on a daily basis. And my daughter now has a matching journal with me, and she's just starting to do letters right now. But like, yeah, they're already picking up on like, that's a way that you can express yourself. And yeah, it's a really beautiful way to express yourself, to be creative, to still connect inward as well. And as you said, again, like that intentionality with just like thinking about what you're experiencing every day and putting it down on paper in some way.
Yeah, love that. So on the retreats that you host, they are children and moms, right? Present. And are you sort of like introducing a lot of these rituals in that space? Like, what does a typical retreat look like?
Yeah, so it's so funny. It's kind of become, these retreats are so deeply personal to me, and they've taken a lot of different aspects of my own life. So like being a mom in Norway and seeing my kids go to a nature-based learning school. So like we have a forest school inspired program at the retreat for the kids, for a few hours each day. And I had also experienced some wellness retreats over the years abroad in Spain, in the Middle East, and a few places. And I brought some elements to that too, like breath work. Breath work is something that we do. And we've now introduced other things that my team just is really passionate about, and I just feel called to do. Like I get these just things that flow through me sometimes that I don't even know if they're really me or where they're coming from, but it's like, you need to bring this to these moms, like they need it. Like this just like overwhelming feeling. So our program is, it's, the intention behind it is that we want to reconnect you with yourself. We want you to get back to just grounding and being present, because all we really have is the present moment. And we want you to connect more with the people around you in your life. If it's yourself, your child, the community that you have, and your family when you go home too. And so it's a mix of, there's fusion yoga and Pilates, there's interactive sound baths where the moms and kids experience that together. We have forest bathing where we do things like meet a tree with a blindfold, and you go like discover a tree, and then you have to go back and figure out what tree it was. The kids have a lot of really cool things with like food sensory, We've done like river rock painting, smash art, tree easels, painting with a tree trunk as the easel. Yeah, it's so many things. We have a projector movie night that we set up. We have done, what else? A lot of women's circles as well. We do cacao circles, which is a really beautiful opportunity to open your heart as a mom. So it's blending the mom time with the kid time and then the together time, because we need a little time by ourselves too to reflect and open up and feel comfortable to share. And our
Sure.
kids also want to have their own experience. Like, I always wanted these retreats to be like a retreat for the kids too. Like, we treat them just like they're an equal guest to their mom. They're not just like tagging along, you know? So yeah, it's just a really magical space.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Well, good. We will definitely be linking more about your retreats in our show notes. But before we wrap up the episode, we're going to jump into our lightning round. This is where I just like to ask some random fun personal questions so our listeners can get to know Monica a little bit better. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. If you could go on vacation tomorrow anywhere in the world, where would it be? I'm so curious because you've been so many places. Do you have like a favorite? Is there some place you haven't been that you really want to go?
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I would probably go back to French Polynesia, like Bora Bora. That's where I had my honeymoon, and we wanted to go back, and it hasn't happened yet. But yes, I would love to go get some French Polynesia vibes.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds incredible. I know. We went to Thailand on our honeymoon, and we said that we wanted to go back when we had kids one day. And like, I don't know if you're familiar with Thai culture, but there are those big like lanterns that you light and make a wish and let go of. That was our wish. And so I'm married 15 years this year. It's crazy. I know. I don't feel that old, but I really want to make that happen. Maybe like 20 or 25, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But this is about you, not me.
No,
All right.
I'm
Are you?
going to manifest it for you too. Like, let's send all the good
Thank you.
vibes.
Thank you. Yes, please. All right. Are you more of an introvert or an extrovert?
Ooh, it's so funny. I've done all these like personality quizzes over the years, and I'm usually like right in the middle somewhere. Like, I have
Ambivert.
tendencies. Yeah, I have tendencies like I can just be like super hyped up when I'm around a lot of people, and I love being people together. I'm a Libra rising, so and I'm also a Gemini sun, so I'm really like snappy and communicative and like to build relationships, but I also have a lot of like Plutonian energy in my astrology chart. So I like to have my alone time too.
For sure. Yeah. What's your like go-to like get it done motivating song?
Ooh, there's one right now that I actually forget the name of, but it's this very like it's this really like feminine like wild woman song, and I forget the exact name of it. Let me see if I can find it super fast. Because I think it's literally called Wild Woman. But it's been like this really amazing anthem recently that I've been really into. Feminine empowerment songs lately. Just like even I would say Katy Perry Roar is a big one for me. And my daughter loves that one too. Like that, like anything that's just like feminine empowerment, like let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Last question. What is one app that you just like cannot live without?
Oh, well, I would have to say Apple Podcasts, because I'm really into podcasts. I love connecting with people like you through it and just hearing other people's stories. Also, I'm really into Audible and listening to books while I'm driving and walking around.
Yeah. Yeah. Good ones. All right, Monica. Well, before we officially end today's episode, can you tell our listeners where they can find you, learn more about the retreats, listen to your show?
Yeah. So if you want to learn more about everything we're doing, our website is wanderwildfamilyretreats.com, and our podcast is the Wanderwild podcast, and you can find us on anywhere you get your podcasts. And then we also have our digital community at wanderwild.com. And we're on Instagram a lot too, if you want to go over there and connect with us in that way.
Perfect. We will link all of that in our show notes today. Thank you so much for being a guest and sharing all of these great tips on creating sacred rituals for yourself and your family.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You've been listening to the Mama Work It podcast. I hope you've enjoyed this episode and would love if you could take a quick minute to leave me a review on whichever platform you're listening from, and maybe even send a note to a fellow mama friend recommending it. Reviews and recs help this podcast grow and reach more like-minded, awesome moms. And if you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click that button so we can stay in touch, girl. By the way, if you haven't checked out the Mama Work It website, please do. There are lots of free resources and great articles there that can help you with the juggle of work life, mom life, wife life, fill in the blank life. So head on over. Thanks again for being part of the tribe. I'll see you soon, but in the meantime, keep on working it, mama.